With some basic carpentry tools, I'm going to make a beginner's woodworker bench. It's got everything you need. It's big, it's solid, it's easy to make, best of all, it's affordable. All that plus more on this episode starting right now. Now, before I get going on today's project, I want to tell you about the new monthly newsletter. This newsletter is free, and it's going to have articles in it on more woodworking material. It's also going to have videos that are exclusively seen only by the members. And I'm going to have some plans in it that are free, but I'll tell you more about that at the end of this video. So now let's take a closer look at this beginner's woodworker's bench and why I feel that this is one of the better benches out there. Okay, I've been saying that I've needed to make 2 workbenches in my shop here for a while. And I went to my good friend Dennis Laney, who I know has 3 different style workbenches in his shop. So I went over to his place a little bit a while ago and I wanted to compare features on it. And this is what I've come up for what I think is a great workbench. Now there's 3 unique things about this bench that you'll probably notice right away. One is the angle of the leg. Now there's a reason for that. If I'm going to push this bench or if I'm going to do any kind of planing on it, I'm going to be putting pressure against it. Now if the legs were straight up and down on it, as I'm pushing across, there is that tendency that this could rack or move. By having the legs on that slight angle, now I've got resistance going against that leg, helping make this stronger and more stable. The other thought of it is, with the legs being angled like that, this bench is always in compression. What I mean is, as pressure is pushed down on this top, those legs are going to have the tendency to want to spread out. But the stretcher along there, well, that's bolted in. So it's only going to cause those bolts to stay tighter as pressure is put down on it. So the second thing that makes this bench unique, the top is wide, but you'll notice that it has this valley down here in the middle. And what that's for is I can place some small tools and items down in there, and that way if I push a large board across this, I'm not going to be knocking my tools off. But there's another reason for that, and I'll share it in a minute. So one of the things you've probably noticed already is that this bench doesn't have a vise on it. Although there is room for me to add a vise to it, at this point I don't actually need one. And that's where these dog holes come in. So you can see this apron is rather large and has several holes through it. And here's one of the things that these holes can do. I can take some 3/4 inch dowel rods and stick them in there. And then this way, I can place a board on these for support, and this one acts as a stop. Now, back to that tool well, I can take a clamp, put this across here, clamp it up, hold the board firmly, so now I can plane the edge of that board. Now these dog holes will do more, and I'll explain those in a separate video later. So on the other side of the bench here, you'll notice that the apron is a lot smaller. This is actually a 2x6, and that's good for 2 reasons. One, it has opened up this area here for me, put more storage underneath it, like a toolbox of some sort. But also, 2, if I want to clamp my piece down, I now can put the clamp on it like this and hold the piece down to do whatever I have to. One of the great things about this bench is you can walk into any big box store, buy the dimensional lumber, and finish this over the course of a weekend. Now, even though I have a whole shop full of power tools, I tried to do this with the most minimal amount of tools possible. So I definitely needed to use my table saw on that. I also, in the video, used a miter saw. But if you don't have a miter saw, a circular saw will work just as well. An electric surface planer was also very crucial in this video. A cordless drill, a hammer and nails, and then a socket and ratchet to put the bolts through for the leg. Now, I did say I had to build 2 of these benches for my shop. And the second one, although it looks similar, it's quite unique. So I'll show you that at the end of this video. So in the meantime, you know what that means. Cue that dance music. So there's my video on building a beginner's woodworker's bench. Now I do realize that the video went pretty fast, and that was just for the sake of time. If there's a particular step in the video that you need some clarification on, or if you're working on a project of your own and need some help, feel free to write me at woodchoppingtime@gmail.com. Now, some of you might be liking this bench and want to build one of your own and are wondering if plans are available. And the answer is yes. For a limited time only, I will offer these plans free to the people who subscribe to the newsletter. You'll be able to get the plans there and some specifics about this bench to customize it for your needs. Now, in an upcoming video, I'm going to show you how to add a vise to this bench. And the vise is so simple, you probably actually have this laying around your shop, garage, basement, or can pick one up at a garage sale. Even if you have to buy this particular item, I guarantee you can get it for under $20. So stay tuned for that in the next video. Now, I did say to you that I built a second bench that is uniquely different. So let me show you that bench real quick before we wrap this video up. So here it is, my other bench. This bench is actually bigger than the other one. It's got a thicker top, it's wider, and it's longer. But believe it or not, this bench is made for the small shop. Why is that? Well, check this out. That's right, it completely knocks down for easy storage away. Ideal for a small garage, or if you even just got to travel. There's not a single metal fastener, screw, or even glue in this whole bottom unit of the bench. Now, if you're wondering how that's working, well, the secret is here in the half-lap dovetail and the dowel pins. You're probably wondering, Chad, what keeps those dowel pins from coming out when you pull on it? I don't understand how that can lock together with no kind of metal fasteners. Well, to answer that question, look for the article in the new newsletter. And you can click on the link in the description below to fill it out to start getting your newsletter for free. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, my whole main purpose is to make you a better woodworker. So, until then, keep on dancing.